damned Sigismund. The lawlessness he brought to this land.
Good health to you.
God be with you.
Time flies, eh? My Agnes has been gone now for 4.5 years. Still, it seems like only yesterday she went to the good Lord.
Manhood
Aye, you're right there.
Then
Life
buy
is
this
short.
powder made of a unicorn's horn.
An assassinate.
Yeah.
The old woman says a fucking assassin on me. Well, I'll kick his ass. No! Fuck it!
Is that all you got? Stop, hear me? Oh, dear God.
Jesus, what have you been up to?
So, what are you scheming up this time?
Well, we've got this idea. You might have heard there's coin coming to the Talmberg quarry to pay the workers their overdue wages.
I haven't heard anything about it.
They owe them for a quarter of a year. There's a lot of quarrymen in that quarry.
But it's bound to be well guarded, isn't it?
Maybe not, if we time it right.
And why aren't we talking about it with Andrew?
Andrew hasn't got the balls for it. He sent us to hell.
He did? How come?
I don't know. He just said he won't do it.
Andrew's not interested. Is it that dangerous? Look, if I'm going to do this, I want to know everything.
It's close to Talmberg, so if we mess something up, we could have problems. But what a pile of silver.
Well, those people work for Sigismund.
Yeah, for Sigismund.
But I know Quarrymaster Rupert. Those people don't work for Sigismund.
No, they don't.
And you think it's all right? Is that what we are now? Common thieves?
What do you want me to tell you? Take a good fucking look at us. You're all right, but we're up to our necks in shit.
But a thing like this...
Do you think we're any better off now than we were in Sasau, on our last legs at the tavern?
Yes.
Then you're a fucking fool. Ever since Skalitz, everything's been going to hell. Why should we have to pay the price for that? To hell with the fucking quarrymen!
I just need to find out something first.
All right, I suppose. Take care. Jesus, what have you been up to?
About that job. I'm in.
Wonderful. But before we get to work, we have to find out more. We are gonna go and take a sly look at that quarry. Meanwhile, you go to Talmberg and find out when they're bringing the coin. Try to find out who's gonna be guarding it. Even better, if you could make it so there's as few guards as possible, well, You know, I wouldn't be upset at all. Goodbye. God be with you.
How am I actually supposed to do it?
Do what?
How am I supposed to find out when they're bringing the coin in?
You're pretty well known around these parts, aren't you? You'll find a way.
What, so it's up to me to fix everything for you again, is it? Supposing I just tell you to fuck off.
No need to get all worked up about it. We're doing our bit. We're gonna check out the quarry, aren't we?
You hinted there could be a way to make sure as few guards as possible get sent to escort the money.
Maybe. Ask Fritz about it. He's good at making trouble.
Couldn't we steal it right in Talmberg? Or somewhere along the way to the quarry?
If you want to get yourself killed, do it alone.
Yeah, and I'll keep the silver for myself too.
Groschen won't do a dead man any good.
Do you know anything about the quarry?
A little bit. We'll check it out. We'll have to do it quickly. We'll make sure there aren't so many guards.
And can't we bribe them?
Maybe. But it might be a risk with some of them. They might blab.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll be dealing with other problems in the region. Agreed then. I'll get right to work on it.
Very well. We'll go and pay the quarry a visit. You'll find us there. Good luck then.
Hey, how'd you get so fucked up?
So how do I make sure they cut down the number of guards when they transport the money?
Easy. Make it right, ruckus.
Ruckus?
Ruckus. Hubbub. Bedlam. I mean, just give someone around Talmberg a punch in the mouth. Start a brawl. Or steal something valuable.
And that'll help.
Of course. The townsfolk will be furious. They'll start clamouring for more guards in the town. Take my word for it. 9 times out of 10, punching someone in the gob is the best solution.
Do you have any other ideas?
Well, most guards, especially the ones in charge, are lazy fuckers. If you could figure out a way to get rid of their horses, I'd bet at least a few of them won't go anywhere.
Thanks.
What a pleasure. I'm sure there's some other tricks you could try. Well, that's all I can think of. Good luck then.
Come over here and let me whisper something in your ear.
Yeah.
Mother of God!
God bless you. What troubles you? Take care.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
You look like you swallowed a wasp, Master Groom. What's going on?
I should think so. I have 3 horses with a fucking colic.
Well, that's not such a tragedy. You need to keep the horses warm and rub them down with straw, especially the belly and flanks. That'll help settle the stomach. Give them clean water, change the straw often, and leave them enough room to roll around if they want to. And walk them round now and again, but let them go at their own pace. Don't push them. Keep that up for a week and they'll be good as gold.
My word. I've been handling horses for years, but I never heard about rubbing them with straw for colic. Thanks for the help. I'm known in all the stables around here, and I'll be telling them about you too. The thing is, Sir Robard wants 4 horses for the train to the quarry, and they won't be fit by then. Certainly not this one here.
Quarry? What's going on there?
I don't know, but a guarded train like that, they must be carrying something valuable.
When do they need the horses?
There's still some time. They're supposed to be there in 5 days at noon.
What about some help from someone else?
You mean from that old hag who lives in the woods? I'm not so foolish as to believe in spells.
It's not about spells. She can try to make a herbal concoction. I know something about herbs, and I'll make sure she doesn't put anything in it that would be bad for the horses.
All right, then. Let's see what the old hag comes up with. God be with you.
That sounded like...
Is someone there?
Look out.
You! What the hell are you fooling about here? someone there?
Yeah. I've got that coin.
What? What coin?
The coin they were going to send to the quarry.
Going to? What are you saying?
Good day,
You
Henry.
stolen Talmberg?
Damn right.
Well, I'll be fucked. So show us the bloody money then.
Here it is.
Holy shit!
A third of it is yours.
Fuck yeah! First we get drunk out of our heads. Let Andrew see what he missed out on. Take care.
I've got the coin.
Good. You can buy me a fucking beer.
No, I mean the coin from the quarry.
Bollocks. Nothing's come to the quarry. We know if it did.
And it's not coming, ever.
What? All this watching and waiting's been for nothing? Fuck.
No, you blockhead. I stole the coin before it even left Hamburg.
What? So all this watching and waiting has been for nothing? Ha! Come here and give me a kiss, you sneaky little fucker.
Later. I'll have to get blind drunk first.
So, show us the money.
Here it is.
I can't believe it. We're rich.
That we are.
I'm gonna spend a week in the bathhouse. Fuck it, a month. And every wench in the province will be in there with me. Good luck then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God save you.
Master Huntsman, is there any work for me here?
There's always something that needs doing. You're that Skalitz lad, aren't you? Sir Radzig's lackey.
That'll be me.
Right. I saw you here shortly after the attack. My word, to get away from Talmberg like that, quite remarkable. It's clear you're not easily scared. So I do have a job for you.
I'm listening.
We've been having terrible problems with poachers lately. In Sir Divish's forests, we've been finding gutted entrails of deer and rabbit nooses all over the place, but no sign of the bastards who put them there.
And you want me to track down the poachers?
Indeed. Whatever you learn will be useful to me.
Do you suspect anyone?
Well, it's hard to say, but seeing how much harm they're causing, I'd say they're no crofters looking for a Sunday roast.
Shouldn't you be dealing with the poachers yourself?
I should, you're quite right. But when I ask the local folk anything, their mouths close up like clams. They're more scared of me than the devil.
Do you think the locals are in on it?
Well, I don't know, maybe. But even if not, they'll never talk to me. They're scared I'll dig some skeleton out of their cupboard. You know, the smaller the village, the bigger the secrets. That's why I need an outsider to ask for me.
I understand. I'll try to find out something about them. Any advice about where to start?
Certainly. Ask around the village. Somebody must have seen or heard something. And it wouldn't hurt to ask in the inn in the glade, the one on the road towards Neuhof. I've heard they serve good venison, and no shortage of it.
That's clear enough. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thanks for your help, lad.
I'd like you to show me some hunting tricks.
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First you have to
Well, can you teach me?
Certainly.
I'd like to hone...
All right, but it'll...
Isn't that quite a lot? Since it's you...
More. Sorry, but I'm not going to teach you for that.
Can you
Certainly.
I'd like to...
All right.
Isn't that...
More. Agreed. God be with you. God be with you.
Can you teach me to be a better archer?
Certainly.
Well... Can you help me with...
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close. God be...
There's the good doggy. That's my boy. Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
Stay away from people if you can't ride a horse, you moron!
Greetings, good night. How may I serve you?
What do you think about all the poaching lately?
What should I be thinking? If they ever catch them, Sir Divish will have them skinned alive. But for that to happen, our master huntsman would have to be made of sterner stuff.
Do you think Nicholas isn't doing enough?
A master huntsman who lets poachers run wild through his woods? He's useless. He couldn't even stop them hanging a stag's head on his own house.
Right. Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going.
Good luck, then. God be with you.
Good health to you.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered. But go and see Elena if you're determined. That old gossip will tell you all there is to know. Goodbye.
Greetings. What do you need?
I heard you've got a poaching problem in the woods around here.
In the woods and out of them. Not long back the bastards hung a deer's head on the huntsman's house.
That's pretty brazen of them.
Certainly is. Word around the village is that someone wants to shame him till he squirms.
Putting a deer's head on the huntsman's house sounds pretty risky. Why would anyone do that?
Maybe they want to show that Huntsman Nicholas is no match for them. And they're not wrong. He isn't the man he should be.
Do you think it was someone local?
I really don't know. All sorts of things get said. Hannikin Hare's back, if you listen to some, and others are going on about Tom of the Baths. They swear blind he's got his fingers in it.
And what about you?
It could be anyone. There's more than one that has it in for Nicholas. And who knows what the neighbors get up to by night.
What's so suspicious about this Thomas?
Just that he was drunk and blabbering about how he was going to bring back venison from the woods.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
He used to be Master Huntsman here a while back. But then Nicholas got him accused of a murder, and the Hare had to flee. It cost him the huntsman's rank and Margaret, too.
What happened between Hare and Nicholas, anyway?
Those two didn't get on from the start. And then that business with Margaret really set them at each other's throats. But it all came to a head about 15 years back when Sir Henry of Lipa came to visit.
Sir Hanish's father?
Just so. There was a banquet at the castle in his honor, and in the morning they found one of Sir Henry's men-at-arms in the ditch with his neck broken. Well, Nicholas made sure the blame fell on Hannikin Hare.
So how did Nicholas put the blame on Hare?
Nicholas always had a viper's tongue, and events made it easy for him. That evening there'd been a right falling out between Hare and the guardsman. Blows were struck. Well, Sir Divish didn't want any ill will with Sir Henry, so he tried to settle things as quick as he could, and Hare got the short straw.
What was going on with Margaret?
Her father promised her to Hannikin, because they seemed a good match. But Nicholas couldn't stomach that, so he did what he did.
And what happened to Hare?
That's just it. No one rightly knows. They put him in the dungeon, but when Sir Henry's men came for him the next morning, he was gone. No one knows what became of him.
I want to ask about something else. tell me something about Hannekin Hare.
He used to be Master Huntsman here a while back.
I want to ask about... So why do people think Tom of the Baths is involved?
Ah, that's just nonsense. He was bragging in the tavern that he'd put on a venison feast for the village girls. Deer for the deers.
Did he?
I doubt it. He's all mouth and no trousers. But if you want to know more, ask my husband, the innkeeper. I wasn't here that evening.
That'll be all. Thanks.
God be with you.
I've heard Tom of the Baths was mouthing off in here.
So he did. He and Jack Piper were bragging about how they'd make a feast for the village lasses, that there'd be venison roast and enough beer to fill a river. And a few days later, they did come and buy a few kegs of beer from me.
Did they have anything else to say?
Not really. I told him to shut up, or someone would hear him and there'd be trouble.
And what did he say to that?
Nothing. He had more booze in him than the castle cellar. He just hiccuped and slid under the table. Piper took him off after that, thank God.
Do you suppose he meant it?
Hardly. He's nothing but a braggart.
All right, I'd best ask him myself.
Well, feel free to ask, but don't believe half what he says.
And who is this Jake Piper?
Well, he's Tom's best mate. A decent fellow. They call him the Piper because everywhere he goes, he's whistling on that pipe of his.
Where can I find him?
Well, most likely in the quarry. He lends a hand there to make ends meet.
Folk are talking about Hannekin Hare.
Oh, good Lord. People do like to prattle on. Don't you go believing a word they say. It's the back of beyond here, and they'll tell any tale to spice things up a bit.
Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going.
See you later.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
I don't know anything about it. But if I were you, I'd speak to Martha, the innkeeper's wife. She knows all the goings-on around here. You can find her at the tavern. Goodbye.
Lovely. Nothing better than a hot tub and a pretty face.
Has something happened?
Oh, the best is yet to come, sir.
I'm glad to hear. Hey, you... Good God, you look terrible. Did someone attack you?
I need to ask you something about the poachers.
What? Me? Why me, for Christ's sake?
They say you were mouthing off in the tavern.
We'd all had a few ales. You know what it's like. The tales get taller.
So you didn't go poaching with Thomas?
My God, no. That would never even cross our minds. Thomas is a bit wild, but I have some sense, at least. Take care.
Yeah! Yeah!
Da.
God bless you. My humble greetings. How may I help you?
I heard there are poachers in the woods round here.
If only if it was just poachers. It's that sorcerer Hare. He's the one who's been running amok. I said he'd be back, and I said he'd be vengeful, and I was right both times.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day, no one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
And how did his sorcery reveal itself?
Well, he was able to vanish into thin air in the forest right in front of folk. And I've heard it said he spoke to animals, too, though I don't know the truth of it.
That doesn't sound very convincing to me.
That's because you've not seen his marksmanship. It wasn't natural, the things he could do with that bow of his. They say he sold his soul for the gift of it.
I see. How did it go with Margaret?
I'm not one to gossip, but she was a flighty lass in her younger years. She could never make up her mind which one she wanted, the Hare or Nicholas, so in the end, fate decided for her.
What do you mean? What happened with Hare?
Oh, that was quite something. And then some on top of it. Sir Henry of Lipa was visiting here at the castle, and Hare snapped his guardsman's neck with his bare hands. Of course, they found him out. But how do you keep a sorcerer under lock and key? You can't. That's your answer. And that Satan's spawn slipped the net.
Oh, well, it's quite a wild story. Any idea why he murdered the man?
No one knows, and most likely never will. But they say he was fully in the devil's power. There was a full moon, you see.
Was he actually seen killing the guardsman?
I suppose so. Else they'd hardly know who did it, would they?
That's probably true. There is one other thing I want to ask. Has anyone actually seen this Hannikin Hare? He seems to exist only as a bogeyman to frighten naughty children.
Oh, he exists all right, but he flits around in the forest like a shadow. They won't be catching him any time soon, but Blacksmith's Betty heard some of their goings-on in the woods.
Goings-on? What's that supposed to mean?
Cavorting and raising hell. Sorcery! Hare meets up with his sorcerer's apprentices, and they feast in the clearing in the woods. In the morning, they turn into ravens and scatter. Or so she says. But you'll have to ask Betty for more. Who knows what she saw? Or what she was doing there with them?
Very well. I'll ask. Who does Hare want revenge on?
Master Huntsman Nicholas, of course. When the Hare disappeared, Nicholas took his Margaret and the Huntsman's posting.
So Nicholas came out of it well?
That one always knew how to land on his feet.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He claimed up...
Well, I should...
Not at all.
Goodbye.
Can I do anything to help? What the hell was that?
Where the hell were you brought up? Don't you know you have to have a light up?
You'd think he had blue blood. What is it this time?
Who's there? Answer me. What do you think you're doing? You've no business here. Has something happened? Hey.
My humble greetings. How may I help you?
I've got a few questions about these poachers.
So ask.
I heard you saw something fishy in the forest.
That's right, I did.
Can you describe what you saw?
It was after dark, I remember that. I went up past the castle along by the clearing, and I saw someone had lit a fire, and there were figures singing and dancing, and I could hear the whistling of a pipe. And I could smell roast meat. It was like a feast of some sort. Only I thought maybe it was some witch's sabbath, so I was afraid to stay too long in case they saw me.
Did you recognize anyone there? Someone from the village, maybe?
No. Like I said, it was dark. All I could see was shadowy figures moving around.
Did you hear any familiar voices?
No. But I heard girls' laughter, goblets clinking, a piper playing. It sounded just like any feast.
Where's the clearing?
A short walk north of the castle. There's a track past the woodcutter's camp that takes you there.
Thanks. What do you make of this poaching that's been going on?
It's clear as day. Hannikin hare's back. And putting those antlers on Nicholas's house? Well, we all know what that means, don't we? It's the sign of a cuckold, you mark my words.
You mean to say his wife's cheating on him?
All I'm saying is she might be feeling the urge. It happens in the best of families.
Well, you're the first who's certain of Hare's return. So far, I've just heard vague rumors.
Well, now, I wouldn't say I'm completely sure. I suppose some other mischief maker could have done it, but better the devil you know. And everyone hereabouts knows Hare.
Stop trying to wriggle out of it. Do you realise who I am?
Not really.
But you know who Radzig Kobyla is, right?
Of course.
I'm his right-hand man, and I'm helping the Huntsman catch the poachers. So, I'm not someone you should be messing around.
All right, I'll tell you what I know, but promise not to tell Nicholas I said it.
I'll do what I can, but I need to let him know what I discover. So, out with it.
It's to do with Margaret, his wife. They say it's all because of her.
Keep going.
I know full well Hare's here, because Margaret admitted as much.
What did she tell you?
That he waited in the woods till she came by and they exchanged some words. Words was all she told me. Who knows what they actually got up to.
And what did they speak about?
I don't know, but if Nicholas knew they'd met, he'd most likely kill her.
You're sure she wasn't saying it in jest?
Oh no, Margaret wouldn't joke about something like that.
Well, you're the first who's certain.
Well...
You were singing...
So...
It's nothing.
Oh!
Well, now you know. And you also know not to keep anything from me.
I'll tell you what I know.
I'll do what I...
It's to do with Margaret.
Keep going.
I know full...
What did she tell?
That he wait...
And what did they...
I don't know.
You're sure she...
Oh, no. Margaret wouldn't...
Who's this Hannekin Hare, anyway?
Hannekin Hare? There was a time he was Master Huntsman here, and Margaret was set to be his wife. But then he got himself accused of murder, and fled before they could hang him. Margaret and his job both ended up going to Nicholas.
So what's the story between Hare and Margaret?
It was complicated. He wanted her, and she wanted him too, I reckon. At least for a while. But then she hitched up with Nicholas, and now she says she never had a thought of wedding Hannekin Hare.
So what went on between Hare and the Huntsman?
Those two? There was no love lost between them from the moment Hare arrived. And then Margaret got involved. It was a messy business.
Do you think Hare really killed that man?
Who knows the truth of it now? I did find it all a bit odd. Hare never was much of a hothead. But then again, no one really knew him that well. And Margaret never wanted to speak of it. Wouldn't hear a word about it.
That's all I need. Thanks.
Good luck, then.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's a nuisance.
Can you think of anything I can do with it?
Look, it's all about the seasoning. Just roast it with a bit of lard, same as usual. But add some rosemary and juniper.
Rosemary?
The best thing for hair. I heard it from a travelling merchant. He had it in Prague and he said it was delicious.
All right, so I'll try it. And if he doesn't like it, I'll lock him in the hen coop so he'll have a proper appetite next time. That'll ruffle his feathers for him.
Maybe you should have done that a long time ago.
You're right there.
You look worn out.
State.
Good health to you.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered. But go and see Elena if you're determined. That old gossip will tell you all there is to know.
I'd like to ask you about Hannekin Hare.
I'm sorry, but I really don't want to talk about that.
The thing is, every time I spoke to someone about Hare, they always ended up talking about you.
But I don't.
You aren't to blame for anything, is that it? Well, I am willing to believe you, but you do know more than you're telling, and I need to hear it.
Very well. You're right. And what would you like to know about Hare?
How were things between you and Hare back then?
There was nothing between us. Hannekin Hare impressed my father with all his talk of noble blood. But I couldn't stand him, and I didn't want to marry him. And then it made no odds after he ran away.
So you didn't want him? I only asked because I've heard differently.
That's village talk. Of course folk gossip. Mostly they just want to hurt Nicholas.
Did Hare really commit the murder?
God in heaven, how should I know? Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
That remains to be seen. What did you talk about in the woods with Hannekin Hare?
I see Betty's mouth's been busy.
Don't blame her. I had to work hard to weasel it out of her. Now tell me.
Oh, all right. Well, it seems Hannekin Hare's exile has addled his brain. He told me he'd go off with me, that he still loves me and nonsense like that.
And what about you?
What do you mean? I was so shocked, I couldn't even scream.
Is that all he told you?
He said if I change my mind, I'm to hang a garland of forget-me-nots on the house and wait for him at that place of ours.
Where was it you saw him exactly?
I wish I could tell you. The whole thing was like a fever dream. I almost got lost trying to get out of the forest. Even if I remembered, it wouldn't be any use to you. Hannikin Hare moves through the forest like a ghost. He knows every tree root off by heart.
I want you to hang that garland on the lodge.
But I don't want to go anywhere with him.
You don't have to go anywhere. But tell me, where's that secret meeting place of yours?
On the way to Ujits. Back then, we used to meet by the great big beech tree, right next to the wayside shrine. There's a lovely view there, you see.
And what time will he be waiting there for you?
At dawn. What are you going to do to Hare?
Never you mind. The main thing is it will all get sorted out. And that's all that matters, isn't it?
I suppose so. Very well, then. I'll hang the garland for you.
That'll be everything.
God be with you.
Yeah. Three. He was out there again yesterday evening, staring at the thing and scratching his chin. He'd be more use as a fence post himself.
Yeah, he's a dolt and no mistake. How about going round and trampling his cabbage patch a bit?
I'll take the old woman with me. We'll have a good dance. Good God. You look terrible. Did someone attack you?
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang, and I need to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away. I don't have all day.
I heard you were yelling in the tavern that you were off to hunt some venison.
Look here. I don't know who you are, but you should watch your mouth.
I will, don't you worry. So what happened then?
What? Nothing. It was just the beer talking. I got pissed and started spouting shit. Didn't mean a word of it.
Maybe not. That remains to be seen. Blacksmith Betty saw people feasting in the woods, and she says there was a nice smell of venison. What do you know about it?
Nothing. I wasn't there.
And I don't suppose you'll tell me who was?
No, because I wasn't there.
That'll do me. I hear there's been trouble with poachers recently.
I don't have time to talk to strangers. Good day to you.
See you later. Look out! Did I tell you about my wife's lace making?
No, I didn't know she did that.
She only started not long ago. Always in the evening, while there's still a bit of light, she sits down and gets on with it. And she's quite deft at it by now.
I'm not surprised. Betty was always good with her hands.
You're right there. Anyway, I showed a couple of pieces she made last time to old Tonda from Tabor, the one I buy goods from. And he said right away he'll take them. And how much do I want for them?
Well, now.
I was surprised myself, but I wasn't sure Betty would even want to sell them. So I asked for a high price, and he says, that's fine, and started counting the coin right there and then.
Just like that? Well, I heard about him. He's a right skinflint. And what did Betty have to say?
Well, she was well pleased, as you can imagine. Even more when I told her Tonda will take everything she makes.
That's great. A bit of extra coin never hurts.
Yeah. Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
I'm guessing Nicholas won't be joining us. Who the devil are you?
I thought you wanted to meet up with Margaret.
Fortunately, I'm not that much of a fool anymore. I was hoping I'd tempt Nicholas out of his lair. But let's get to the point. Who are you, and what are you doing here?
My name is Henry, and I work for the Master Huntsman.
So are you going to arrest me?
I am.
All I ask is that you listen to me first.
Why should I listen to you?
Because if you care about justice, you're after the wrong man.
Anyone can say that.
And that's precisely why the accused should get a proper hearing.
Let me guess. You're gonna tell me you're innocent?
I wouldn't presume. I've been poaching on the Divish estate, and I'll take the punishment I deserve. But the crime I was nearly strung up for, that one I didn't commit.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Hanakin Hare of Zalush.
The nobleman?
I used to be. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the Master Huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher? I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened to your family?
My father lost his influential friends and the money with them. After his death, I inherited only his debts. There was nothing for it but to sell off all our possessions, see to my sister's welfare, and manage as best I could.
That sounds a rough deal.
Believe it or not, I never cared for the life of a nobleman. I spent my youth running free, hunting in the woods.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in his honor, one of his men was found dead.
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it. They did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with the man.
I know Sir Hanish of Lipa. Was Sir Henry his father?
Indeed. He was on his way to Ratai to take charge of the fiefdom for young Sir Hans Capon.
Why did you get into a fight with him?
The fall of the House of Zalush was the work of the Lords of Lipa, and that fellow took great delight in reminding me of it.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings. Several people came forward as witnesses to say they saw me with the fellow later that night.
Why would he have done that?
He wanted rid of me. We were both in love with the same lass, you see, and Margaret is his wife today. But back then, there was no question which of the two of us would win her. I was the huntsman of noble blood, and Nicholas was just plain Nick. Her father's preference was clear.
Do you know who did kill the man?
No. He was found in a ditch with his neck broken. He could have tripped and fallen, all on his own.
And that never occurred to anyone?
It did. But some people swore they'd seen us jostling on the drawbridge. Of course, that was Nicholas's work.
What did Margaret think of you?
She took me for a fool. She only had eyes for Nicholas, but I didn't see it then. In the end, she could have saved me.
How?
She could have told the truth. After the banquet, I was with her. But when they asked her, she said she hadn't seen me that night.
How did you get out of it?
What leads you to imagine I did?
Your head's still on your shoulders, so you must have escaped somehow.
I'm alive. But my name and my family's name has been dragged through the mud. For me, that's worse than the sentence waiting for me.
If you say so. But you still managed to get away.
Well, it's true. I had the good fortune to escape from the dungeon.
From the Talmberg dungeon? That can't be done, can it?
It's not too hard when the lord of the castle himself helps you escape.
So Divish set you free? From his own dungeon?
He couldn't offend Henry, so he had to lock me up. But he trusted me. We were friends, after all. He led me out of the castle in the night. I was given a good horse, and in a couple of days I was in Silesia. And that was the end of it. At least until now.
And how did it happen?
It's a long story.
I've got time to listen.
All right. But for you to understand, I have to start from the beginning. I was born as Hannikin Herr of Zalush, the eldest son of Sidney of Zalush. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher. I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and the morning after the banquet in his honor, one of his men was found dead.
And didn't they have any cause to suspect you?
That's just it. They did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with the man.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings.
Why would he have done that?
He wanted rid of me. But back...
How did you get out of...
What leads you to him?
Your head's still on...
I'm alive. Well...
An interesting story.
I can't complain of boredom. The question is, will anyone believe me?
Even if I believed you, there's no proof. It all happened a long time ago.
I know. But if I didn't believe in my own innocence, I'd have to be crazy to have done what I did.
Why?
If I truly were guilty, why would I risk coming back to Bohemia? I could have died in peace as a rich man in the pay of the Jagiellonians. Only a fool would come back.
Nicholas took everything you had, regardless of your guilt or innocence. I'd say you have more than enough cause to want revenge.
I'm not like him. Anyway, you're right. I don't have any proof of my innocence. All I can give you is my word.
This is one of the most insane stories I've heard lately.
That doesn't surprise me.
But something tells me you're speaking the truth, Hannikin Herr.
Thank you. And if you want to help me, come to the old mine gallery in Broad Woods.
I'll be there.
I have a plan, but I need some help.
That's a good boy. That's my boy. Look what I've got. You'll love. So, what are you up to?
Working out how to get Nicholas's confession.
And how would you do that exactly?
Simple. I'll have him sign it. I've had the priest in Janowitz write me up a parchment. When Nicholas signs it, he'll admit to everything written down there.
How do you want to force him to do that?
He won't have a choice, or rather he will have, between his wife Margaret and the job of Huntsman.
I'm not following this at all.
It's plain enough. We'll kidnap Margaret. That's to say, you'll kidnap Margaret while I distract Nicholas. If he wants to see her again, he won't have any choice.
Kidnapping? That doesn't seem like much of a way to clear your name.
No. Take a look around you, Henry. Sigismund kidnapped Wenceslaus, his own brother. And Divish was abducted by Medek of Waldeck.
True, but Sigismund and Medek kidnapped the men they wanted to bargain with. You're thinking of taking a man's wife who's done nothing to deserve it.
And what of it? Those others did it for money or power. I'm doing it to redeem my honor. And since you mentioned Margaret, she's not all that innocent. I could have swung because of her.
But that confession's just a scrap of parchment with writing on it. What will happen to him after that?
That scrap of parchment is for Sir Divish and the provincial court. But we'll be generous to Nicholas and let him leave in peace before we deliver the confession to Talmberg.
So Nicholas will go free, and you'll clear your name?
Hopefully.
So what do I need to do?
I had Nicholas's prized hunting horn liberated. I'm sure Nicholas will recognize its sound from quite far off. I'll lure him out of the lodge at dawn.
And I meant to kidnap his wife while he's gone?
Of course it would be best if she went with you voluntarily, but if not, you'll just have to drag her with you.
Why me?
Can you blow the horn?
No.
Well, there you are then. When you get her, bring her here. Then we can decide what's next.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow at dawn.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
Hey! What are you doing here? Get lost, or you'll have me to reckon with. Who's there?
What the hell was that?
Do something! My God! Over there!
Don't move a finger! Who's there? What's that? What the hell was that? You've no business here. Clear off, or you'll be sorry.
What do you want? You've no business here. What are you doing here?
Hey, is someone there?
What was that?
Sure, I heard something.
for? Be off right now, or I'll fucking see you off. Hey! Who's there? What are you doing here? Get lost, or you'll have me to reckon with. Can you hear me? Hey, you! Don't move a muscle! Surrender! You've committed a violation. You're under arrest. You'll die for that. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? If you don't clear off quick, it'll be the worse for you.
Good work, Henry. Now we have to act fast and sort out Nicholas. Are you all right?
Well, I can't say I feel too good about it, but what else can we do?
Believe me, it gives me no pleasure either, but there's no other way. Take this confession. Go to Nicholas and make him sign it before you tell him where Margaret is.
What if he refuses?
You'll have to make him, one way or another.
I'm not complaining, but couldn't you go to him yourself?
Believe me, I'd rather not drag you into it at all. But if Nicholas sees me, he'll go straight for my throat before I get a word in. The only way to avoid bloodshed is if you go.
I see. Yes, you're probably right. And what if he attacks me?
Then of course you'll have to defend yourself. If you knock some sense into him in a duel, all well and good, but don't forget we need him alive. So keep a cool head.
All right. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I'll get to it.
Here's the document. Don't forget to tell him he should get the hell out of Talmberg before we take it to the castle.
Where would I find you?
I'll wait for you in the clearing. Be quick. I don't want to keep poor Margaret here any longer than necessary.
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen my wife, Margaret? I'm sure something must have happened to her. I can't find her anywhere.
Yes, I've seen her.
Well, speak, where is she?
Hannekin Hare is holding her captive.
How do you know that?
It makes no odds. Just listen to me.
What, you whoreson? Tell me where she is right now, or you'll rue the day.
Bluster all you want, but if you ever want to see Margaret again, you better get a grip on yourself.
Where is she? Tell me!
Yeah, you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours. Sign this parchment here, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
I, Nicholas Angel, do hereby confess... conspiracy against Sir Hannekin Hare... just in proper punishment... What? You must be out of your fucking mind. Never.
Have you no honor at all? You almost sent an innocent man to his death on account of a woman, and now justice has finally caught up with you. So face it like a man.
Justice? What's all this about justice? Come to that, who are you, really? Why, you probably weren't even a glint in your father's eye when it all happened, and you want to judge me?
Merciful justice. If you sign this, Sir Hannekin will give you a head start. You and your wife can be long gone before Divish learns what you did.
I take it there's no other option.
None. But the deal could have been far worse. You can trade your good name for a happy life with your wife.
There. Now tell me where my wife is.
There's an old mine gallery, a little to the south of here. Margaret is in there, alive and well.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you got it?
It's done. He signed it.
Voluntarily?
Yes. More or less.
Well, I'm glad it's been done without bloodshed.
And what now? Will you take the confession to Talmberg?
We'll go together. I need you to bear witness. I've been gone for years, and I'm not sure they'll take my word for anything.
Well, I hope they do believe you. Otherwise, we're both for the noose.
Don't worry. Divish won't forget our former friendship so easily. We'll wait until morning and then set off.
Right.
Anakin Hare, I never expected to see you again.
It was the will of God that I returned.
You realize that Sir Henry of Lipa has never repealed his sentence against you. I'm duty-bound to arrest you and turn you over to the provincial court.
Perhaps. But will you read this first? Henry here is my witness that your master huntsman Nicholas signed it himself. This ought to change their minds.
It might. I'm sorry, Anakin. I always trusted you. But your guilt seemed irrefutable. Nicholas was very thorough. Oh, there's no doubting his own confession. Captain.
Yes, sir.
Have the Master Huntsman arrested.
That won't be necessary. I don't think they'll find him.
I understand. So, what's to be done with you now? Poaching and kidnapping the Master Huntsman's wife. You see my difficulty.
I know. I can't stay here. It's enough to know my name is cleared.
I'll have a letter drawn up to recommend you to the service of Sir Vincent at Vellish Castle.
Thank you, sir.
But if Nicholas has vanished and we're sending you to Vellish, then who's going to be my master hunter here?
There's one obvious candidate. Henry here. Help me bring Nicholas to justice. And he's no disgrace as a hunter.
Really? Well, what of it, young man?
It would be an honor, sir.
Good, good. Then I hereby name you Master Huntsman at Talmberg Castle. My chamberlain will tell you more about your new responsibilities. Good luck to you, Hannigan.
Thank you, Henry. I could never have managed it without you. God willing, we will meet again one day.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Can I be of service to you, Sir Divish? I've heard talk that something is going on in Pribyslavitz.
Henry, you've come at just the right moment. I sent a man to Pribyslavitz. My locator, Marius.
What's a locator?
A land allocator. I charged him with checking on the condition of the settlement to see if we can start rebuilding it.
Why Pribyslavitz, of all places?
Because it's been lying fallow and falling into ruin since it was sacked by Havelmetic years ago. It's about time that changed.
You're planning to resettle the village?
Yes.
Well, it should be safe there now. We trounced that rabble on the battlefield.
Yes, and that's why I sent my master locator there. However, he should have been back long since.
If you've no objection, I could go and look for him.
I'd appreciate that. He probably just got delayed. But I'd be happier if you checked it out. Take care.
God save you,
Welcome, Henry.
Look what I've got. You'll love this.
Ow! Watch where you're going. You nearly...
Yeah. Yeah.
still wasn't enough. Just too fucking...
So, it's all clear to me now.
What is? Who are you? You've no business here.
I'm Henry, and I was expecting to find you here.
What? How could you...
Sir Divish's locator went missing around these parts.
Well, it seems like he's all out of luck, don't it? Divish ought to have sent someone better than you to parley.
He didn't send me to parley, he sent me to deal with it.
Deal with it? There's plenty of us, and you're on your own. So I'd think twice about how you're going to deal with that.
Let him go, right now. Or you can stay here and feed the crows, like the rabble who were here before you.
All right. No need to be hasty, eh? We'll be on our way then, quietly. That fella's in the tent over there.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Sir Divish sent me to find you, and it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Skalitz.
My name is Marius Bielek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived, and so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Although I won't see much in the dark. I'll have to spend the night. Though I doubt I'll get a wink of sleep after what happened. You sure there are no more bandits around?
You've nothing to worry about, unless you're afraid of hares.
Well, come to me after dawn and we'll look the place over together. I'll explain everything to you.
All right. Good night. Here I am.
Excellent. We can start inspecting the area right away, see what can be built where. Shall we get to it, then?
I'll escort you then. At least I can make sure you don't get caught again.
What? Are there more of those bandits around?
No, I just meant... Never mind. Should we get going?
This is a good spot for the rat house. Every village must have one. It would be nice and prominent. It's on the hillside, so the foundations will stay dry. It can have its own little square, close to the church. There's no better site here. The church is still standing. Good. Good. Whoever built it did a good job. Considering how old it is and what it's been through recently, it stood up well. It won't be an easy job to fix it, but it can be done. Timber alone won't do, though.
Look, Hal.
Look what I've got for you. You'll love this. We could fit at least one tradesman's shop here. Maybe a baker's? There's quite a lot of space here. It just needs clearing thoroughly. Then we could even fit stables here. Main approach road and stream. This bridge needs reinforcing. It won't last long in this condition. I reckon it would make sense to build a weir over the stream down there. The water here is clean and can be used to supply the village until we sink a well. It's a good thing we have this stream. No point in building without a water source. Supplies and trade will flow through here. I can't even see past the trees and ruins whether there's room for anything there. But at least the trees are strong and healthy. All we need is a few good woodcutters, and we won't have to bring in any timber from elsewhere. Stone foundations. They'll come in handy, and we're close to the stream. Lots of space here. There's a well here already. All the better. Big space, clean water, close to the village green. A good site for an inn. That's that then. The most essential surveying is done.
Good day to you. So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it. Which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
Oh, that's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why wait? I'll head to Talmberg right away. But would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet. Although, it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. They didn't look all that tough, so I put a bit of pressure on them and they took to their heels.
You were outnumbered and you scared them off?
Ah, they were greenhorns. I think they may have been a bit intimidated by me.
Let's hope they don't try anything like that again.
I'm quite sure they won't, sir.
Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid. Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey. from which we can make a preliminary outline of the parcels. I already have in my head an initial plan of what can be built where.
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition than we anticipated. But extensive reconstruction will be required.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here, so there will be other buildings away from the square, in particular more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle of the woods. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forests for agricultural land and build more farmhouses. But for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
Rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
That much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price, but raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labour. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad, but it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzig and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors, more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here, but now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds. And we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, You'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True. But from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future, the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rattay bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir. What now?
Before we can start building as much as an outhouse, we'll have to get the whole area cleared, and we'll need lots of people to work the land and parcel it out.
Right. So I suppose I'd better get to Rattay first and see to that announcement.
Indeed. I'm sure the bailiff will be more than happy. It will get the refugees out of his hair, and the citizens will stop complaining. I'll stay here for now and start planning the building plots. As soon as the labourers arrive, I'll start allocating work to them.
What now?
Before...
Right.
Indeed. I'll start...